Welcome to Vintage Internet, the series where I look back on internet stories, scandals, and otherwise strange internet news from when I didn't have a YouTube channel and couldn't cover it back then. In 2018, an 18-year-old girl went to prom. Hardly shocking, viral-worthy news. Like most girls, she excitedly shared pictures of the night, which displayed the dress she was delighted to have found at a vintage shop. And the internet exploded, divided on the issue of her dress, a Chinese-style Qipao. Qipao was faced with massive backlash. She was flooded by accusations of cultural appropriation and stealing the garment. Cultural appropriation is the act of taking an aspect of another culture when those taking it don't belong to said culture. Aspects can include clothes, food, music. For example, Kazaya, a Caucasian, wearing a Chinese qipao. However, appropriation in itself is not a negative concept and can become cultural exchange, wherein one culture takes note of people from another culture enjoying something of theirs and freely allow them to indulge in it, and may in turn take aspects from their culture. For example, the kimono. The kimono is actually based off of Chinese clothing. The Japanese looked at Chinese clothing and wanted to make it their own, and did so. Some factors may be at play for members of a culture not wanting for parts of their culture to be exchanged or appropriated. Past oppression may have resulted in parts of a marginalized and/or minority culture being stolen by the ruling majority culture. For instance, many indigenous cultural aspects have been taken and mass-produced by the non-indigenous peoples. Tribal headwear and quote-unquote dream catchers are popular examples. Another factor is whether or not an aspect of a culture has religious, spiritual, and/or otherwise sentimental value. Certain items, such as the dreamcatcher, are considered sacred, and non-indigenous people taking it and using it as a decoration can be viewed as defiling or disrespecting it. Other items in cultures are symbols of achievements or milestones, rewards for completing a beneficial task for a tribe, such as a young person's first hunt, or accomplishing the goals needed to become, for example, a spiritual leader. On the other hand, certain things may be given to commemorate life events, like getting married or having a first child. Somebody taking these symbolic items without accomplishing the goal they're given for or not understanding the significance is insulting to many and removing their importance.
You've no right to a braid, you've won no victories yet.
Not only is this an emotional and spiritual issue, it's also a financial problem. Certain products indigenous people may choose to sell may be overshadowed by non-indigenous mass production. But do you know what else is super not cool to have stolen? Your data. Atlas VPN has very kindly teamed up with me to sponsor this video. What is a VPN? A virtual private network, VPN reroutes all of your internet traffic through an encrypted tunnel. It defends against online snooping, be it hackers, governments, or ISPs. Also, a VPN masks your IP address, which can protect you from censorship and other internet restrictions. Atlas VPN has servers across the globe, meaning that your location does not restrict you when using Atlas VPN as to what you can view. For example, if you're in the United Kingdom but you want to watch Canadian Netflix, go for it. What's even better is that Atlas is running an offer. You can save 86%, that's only $1.39 a month, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. Use the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment, atlasv.pn/cringy, to get yourself secure and support the channel. Thank you, Atlas VPN, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. But what about the qipao? The qipao, or the cheongsum, I can hear my grandmother yelling at me. I can hear her yelling at me for my bad pronunciation. Is originally of Manchu origin, an ethnic minority within China. The Manchu ruled China during the Qing dynasty. They wore different clothes from other civilians to distinguish them, known as the Changpao. After 1636, the Han Chinese ethnic group were forced to wear the Changpao, and the men had to adopt the Manchu male hairstyle. This was known as the Tifa Yifu policy. However, women tended to have both Manchu and Han Chinese clothing. The original qipao was loose and baggy. In Shanghai, from the 1920s to 1940s, the qipao was modernized, a tighter, body-hugging dress with a high collar and skirt slit. The Qipao was reinvented, inspired by Western influence and ideas of liberalization.
Consider this Qipao I'm wearing. It's a result of Western influence, when socialites in Shanghai modified the traditional Qipao to be more form-fitting and revealing as a symbol of female liberation. Now, it's considered a form of traditional Chinese dress, even though back then, there were probably like tons of people who were like, ugh, the Qipao is so Western now, I don't like it anymore. But these Qipao developed in the hands of Chinese women. That makes it Chinese culture. Like, even the original traditional Qipao would have been considered inauthentic at one point, because it came from the Manchu people at the frontier of China, replacing the more traditional Hanfu styles that the Han majority wore. This is why China doesn't have a definitive national dress, by the way. It's way too ethnically diverse. And you can't set any style of Hanfu as the national dress, because that will require going back to at least the Ming Dynasty style, which has implications of Han supremacism, because it's denying that what Han people actually wore during the almost 300 years of the Qing Dynasty were Manchu-influenced clothing, which would stem from a fundamental unwillingness to accept the Manchu as also Chinese and legitimate Chinese rulers.
Now we have a basic understanding of cultural appropriation and how the Qipao came to be, let's analyze the criticism levied against Keziah, and by extension, any non-Chinese person who decides to don a Qipao. Many stated the usage was offensive as it took from traditional Chinese culture. The issue herein is that, one, the dress isn't traditional in the sense that it's not ancient Chinese fashion, it's less than 100 years old, and two, China does not have official traditional clothing. The sheer amount of ethnicities through China's history, each with their own traditional dress, that constantly impacted the dress of the other ethnicities as they evolved. There is no core spiritual or religious ties to the Qipao, and non-Chinese individuals wearing it doesn't impact sacred tradition, nor take away an earned right or life milestone. As well as this, since the popularization of Western clothing in China, Qipao sales have declined, and renewed interest in Asian clothing by non-Asians is one of the only factors keeping the local businesses afloat. The Chinese people have largely expressed positive attitudes to non-Chinese people wearing the Qipao and other Chinese clothing, happy to see others indulge in their culture. The sexualization argument is also null. The Qipao was designed to be fitted and alluring, to empower women. That was its purpose. Again, non-Asians have made similar claims about the kimono, when the Japanese don't tend to mind if it's altered and enjoy seeing other people wearing it. Overall, as a Chinese person myself, I have no issue with Keziah and people like Keziah wearing the Qipao. I think she looked absolutely stunning and was respectful in it. I don't even have a problem with her doing the bowing gesture, because that's a thing in Asian culture, a way of saying hi or respect. She didn't pull her eyes. I think she rocked the dress and did it in a very respectful way. I have no problems with this. Obviously, other Chinese people had a different point of view, but I really don't think she deserved a lot of the backlash she got, especially because some people were under the impression that this was a traditional dress that must be somewhat reserved for Chinese people. It's clearly not the same as other cultures asking people not to use it, for example, the indigenous tribes of America, because the Chinese are willingly allowing people to indulge in this. So I think we should allow people to embrace our culture and allow people to indulge in it in a respectful way. I have no problem with this, and I think people should really have not reacted the way they did. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.